Hello, my name is Martin Leifeld, and what I'd like to share with you today is some thoughts about the subject that we are facilitators of philanthropy. Those of us who do the work of major gift fundraising, we are facilitators of philanthropy. The simplest definition for facilitators is someone who helps other people get things done. Someone who helps other people get things done. That's our role as major gift fundraisers, is to help donors get things done and to help our organizations to get things done, to get good done. So we stand, as it were, between our donors and between the goals of our organizations, and we seek to facilitate philanthropic commitments that are meaningful and impactful. So in that position of facilitation, of facilitators, we seek to align the passions, the interests, the priorities of donors with the goals, the needs, the aspirations of our organizations. And by doing so, what happens is this leads to greater satisfaction for the donors. And oftentimes, they will make larger commitments because of that alignment of what we are bringing to the donor and their perspective in terms of their priorities, passions, and interests. And not only might that lead to a larger gift at the time for this particular request, but because of the satisfaction they derive over time subsequent to the gift, to the commitment, they are in a position to consider future engagements with us of a philanthropic kind. A number of years ago, during our Gateway for Greatness campaign here at the University of Missouri, St. Louis in St. Louis, Missouri, we were making, of course, numerous engagements with individuals, with corporations, with foundations, talking to these at every opportunity about philanthropic support for our university and its priorities. And with the help of course, Chancellor Tom George, our marvelous chancellor here at the university, and George Paz, then chairman, CEO, and president of Express Scripts, the largest company in the state of Missouri and in St. Louis, who happened to also be the chair of our Gateway for Greatness campaign, we had a number of visits with extraordinary corporate leaders, and one of them was with the Emerson chairman and CEO, David Farr. David, a marvelous person, an extraordinary executive. And in leading up to this meeting, this encounter that we were to have with David, I was in conversations, as were some colleagues of mine, with the chief philanthropic officer, if you will, at Emerson. And in those communications, our understanding was David would be open to and would welcome a request for a proposal for one of our capital projects on our campus. The first being a new facility in Grand Center, the Arts and Entertainment District of St. Louis, and the other being our College of Business Administration's first phase of a new building and complex. So the three of us went and we met with David, and it was a wonderful meeting. And finally he said, well, what can I do for you? And this, of course, is after George gave his testimony about being a graduate and the impact of UMSL in his life, and the chancellor talking about the impact and the important roles the university played in the community and beyond, in fact, in the world. And it kind of turned to me to talk about philanthropy. Well, I brought up the naming of the building in Grand Center, and David said, no, I don't want to do something in addition in Grand Center. We already have some commitments there. So then I brought up the business school building. He said, no, in fact, I'm really not interested in bricks and mortar. What else do you have? Well, it's always good to have a number of priorities in mind when we go to visit a donor. And to my surprise, he wasn't interested in one of the capital opportunities. So I brought up a conversation that we had had with, at that time, the Missouri AT&T president, Dave Nichols, about developing a first-generation or underrepresented student program for scholarships around the STEM disciplines. And David had gotten very excited about that and said if you put together a proposal, I would take it to the AT&T Foundation, which he subsequently did. And when we shared this idea with David Farr, he got very excited, very animated, and said, yes, I want a proposal. Long story short, Emerson became a lead gift and an endowment for this scholarship project of $1.5 million. A wonderful gift to our university. And in the years following, we've given them annual updates. There's been engagement, interaction with the students. And Emerson believed that the investment that they made with our university was a fine one. So in my role, our role as fundraisers, we facilitate this conversation. We align the priorities of our organizations with the interests of the donors. And by doing that as closely as possible to what's central to our donors' interests, we can come up with great, great gifts from these entities, from these people, and in turn, they derive great satisfaction. This, of course, is a crucial and privileged role that we play. We're in the middle of it, but it's all about the donor and the organizations we represent. And it is for us to facilitate that philanthropic exchange, and through that facilitation, to derive our own satisfaction, in fact, joy, in performing this role that is so critically important to the engagement, the improvement, the transformation of the lives of donors and the lives of others, and in making the world a better place. I would like to know what you think about this subject. Are you a facilitator of philanthropy? Do you derive satisfaction from these engagements? If so, I'd like to hear from you. Go to martinleifeld.com and let's have a conversation. And I want to thank you very much for listening and for viewing.